Hello, my name is Savannah Paul, and I'm a graduate student at the Colorado School of Mines. Today, I'm here to talk to you about a collaborative project with the Army Research Lab on designing augmented reality visuals for synchronized and time-dominant human-robot teaming. In the future, multi-domain operations will require that each independent team operate synchronously in unknown or unideal environments. Humans may be teamed with any range of robots from RCVs, as shown on the right, to smaller kinds like UGVs, and in all teamings, there needs to exist an intuitive means of communicating time-sensitive information back and forth with the robot teammate. So what does it mean to have an intuitive design? Well, research indicates that a person's situational awareness plays a large role in their ability to make quick decisions. Therefore, information that can potentially help orient a person takes a higher priority than others. The benefit of using augmented reality is that it's particularly good at expressing spatial information to the user, so long as we're able to translate the perception data gathered from the robot into an effective and intuitive AR visualization. Below we have two images of the same scene where one uses an AR overlay to label some features and the other does not. We can see how the image with the AR overlay instantly gives the user a lot more information about the scene and their orientation within it with only a few subtle visualizations. The main challenges associated with this are taking the high quantity of collected data from the robot and summarizing it to the human in a way that synchronizes team efforts and creates a time-sensitive scenario. Research has shown that humans are able to think about quantitative data best when it's expressed using colors and symbols. However, deciding how much information to share and when to share it is critical to its effectiveness. AR provides the means for displaying this data, however, its design must avoid obscuring what's important by using too many visuals, as seen in the image on the right, while still showing just enough to keep the information unambiguous. To help solve this issue, we developed a design framework using a Unity-based virtual reality simulation for prototyping different AR strategies and evaluating their effectiveness. The simulation is run from the first-person point of view of the human teammate and overlays AR features to virtually imitate the use of an AR headset. The framework pictured below is of one iteration of the design process. It starts with pencil and paper drafting of the desired features, then enters a cycle of virtually prototyping these features, evaluating them through testing, and refining the design until it is ready for real-world AR testing. This process helps to phase out undesirable features and identify ones that work, all during the early stages of development, so that successful features may be expanded upon and real-world testing may be more productive. This is the framework that we use to develop an AR solution for optimizing synchronized, time-dominant human-robot teaming. We created a proof of concept of our solution and propose a method for evaluating it with human testing. Our design is intended for cooperative human-robot target searching and building clearing. This application scenario essentially encompasses most search and exploration type tasks. In the simulation, the user and robot, denoted by the blue and red dots, are to travel throughout the map pictured on the right from start to finish while exploring the surrounding buildings to find and interact with as many targets as possible. Targets in our case are scattered throughout the map, pictured as green and orange dots, and represent tasks that only humans can do. For example, reading files or checking for signs of life, each taking a fixed amount of time. There is a time limit imposed on the simulation, making addressing all targets impossible, therefore making it critical for humans to use the information the robot shares. So as far as the specific design implementations go, start with the phase line. Phase line is a control measure used by the military in order to coordinate team movement. It's displayed on maps as a line, usually along geological features as seen below. In our scenario, the phase line marks the next meeting place for the human and robot and is displayed as a three-dimensional wall so that it may be seen from a distance to further orient the user in the environment. This visual can be leveraged in AR to keep team movement synchronous by placing more phase lines throughout the scene and altering the time to reach them. Next is the human time bar. This visualization is billboarded with the human's view, so it follows them throughout the simulation. The total time remaining to reach the phase line is displayed at the top of the time bar to put it into context. The red section of the time bar represents the elapsed time. The blue represents the portion of remaining time that it will take for the human to reach the phase line based on their current position, and the green represents the remaining time they have left for exclusively searching. The blue exit value updates dynamically as the human moves through the scene, so it will consume a larger portion of free time as the human moves further from the exit and less as they travel towards it. The target time bar visualization displays above each target and is almost identical to the human time bar, except it includes in orange the portion of remaining time it will cost the human to interact with it. The displayed cost, in conjunction with the exit time, gives the user a quick understanding of whether or not they can afford to search or even travel to a given target just by evaluating the green portion of the bar. Target markers appear whenever a target is found by the human or the robot. The color of the marker represents the type of target and whether or not it has been addressed. These markers can be used to aid in time-sensitive decision-making by communicating a building's target density. They can also be used to further orient the human in the environment by giving them a sense of where they've been and the direction they need to go. The summary time bars display the entrance of each building after the robot has been all the way through it. These represent the estimated time for the human to search an entire building and are visually similar to the other time bars except for being thicker in width. The human can use these visuals in conjunction with the density of target markers to strategically choose between searching different buildings. Now here we have our AR solution in action. So the simulation starts, we have 3 minutes on the clock as shown in the upper left-hand corner. In the lower right, we have 2 windows that display one, the robot's camera view, and the other is a map of the scene that tracks the human, the robot, and all the target objects as they're found by either the human or the robot. These are included just for demonstration purposes and are not displayed to the human as an AR visualization. Now to the right, we can see that the robot has already cleared a building and found 2 targets inside, and so the human decides to explore a new building instead. As a reminder, the robot can find objects and alert them to the human, but they cannot interact with them themselves, so whenever a human interacts with an object, the screen pauses and counts down in double time for the duration of the target's cost. Now here, as the human exited, they could see the robot was in the adjacent building, so they decide to search the previously discovered building. We could see from the summary time bar that they'll still have a decent amount of free time after clearing the whole building, so they decide to search all the targets inside. As we approach the building here, we can see from the summary time bar that there is not a lot of time left, and it's unlikely that the human will be able to make it through the entire building. So he decides to forego the remaining target in there and start to head for the phase line exit. When he notices there is a nearby target that there's still time to search, this is similar to how the human trials will look, with the tester running through rounds of the simulation, each with a different map, some with and some without AR visualizations, to hopefully see a contrast in performance, where the performance is measured by the time and the target searched. In conclusion, we developed a design framework that utilizes VR simulation for developing new AR techniques. We use that framework to develop an AR solution for improving task performance amongst human-robot teams during coordinated, time-sensitive tasks, and we have presented that solution as well as proposed an experiment for evaluating it. Thank you.